Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you're having a great day, a great evening, a great night, afternoon, morning, whatever time you're listening to this or watching it. So, this will be your weekly reading for the week of July 20th through the 26th. And during that time, we'll have a waning crescent moon, and that's a really good time for surrender, rest, healing. We're kind of closing down one moon cycle and entering into the next one, which starts on the 25th with the new moon. And of course, that's a good time for a fresh start, new beginnings, good time to start new things and make new decisions, start new projects, and just have a little renewal there. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Taurus. So, of course, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is confidence is your key to success. I think I've seen that card in several readings this week. So, people are going to need some confidence, extra confidence this week. And Taurus, as I'm shuffling my weekly reminder, well, nope, if I can shuffle, my weekly reminder is that you get out into nature this week. And just just take a little bit of extra time to take a walk that's longer than usual. Maybe take a nice hike in a place where you don't normally go. Find a different place that has a really pretty view. If you're near water, you can go get near some water. If you're near the ocean, take a walk on the ocean. On the beach there, listen to the water, watch the sun come up or down. If you're lucky enough to be able to do that, near a lake or stream, trickling water can be very, very relaxing. I used to have a place where we used to live that there was a stream about, I don't know, a good quarter of a mile hike down into the woods. And it was so awesome because there was it was almost like a little round cutout, like just a beautiful little grassy area, but the creek went around this entire area, and I would go and sit and meditate down in there. It was just beautiful. I miss it. It's in a whole different state. So, but just one of those places that, sometimes you're exploring and you just find a really beautiful, peaceful place. So, all right, I will quit rambling, but again, get out in nature this week. Just my reminder for you, Taurus. So get out there and connect. All right, let's get into this reading here. Taurus, July 20 through the 26th. Confidence is your key to success. All right, your overall present energy. I love when this is the first card, is the Magician. So what do you want to manifest? Here's the Magician asking you that. And that's in your overall energy. So it's something you get to think about this week, a little bit, is what is new for you? What is coming up? In what way do you want to make changes in your life, inner, outer, however that might work out for you? And which elements will you use here? Are you going to, do something in the realm of the material world? Is there some material thing you need to acquire? Or would you like to make more money or do something different with money? Maybe it has to do something with emotions. It could be something with your intellect. Maybe you're going to learn something this week, or learn how to speak clearly about something this week, or some kind of passion project. So here's the Magician saying, all right, you've wrapped something up here. What do you want to do next? That's awesome. Your current situation is that you're feeling a little stuck about something. So maybe you're going to, use one of these elements to get out of this situation. This situation is, you're kind of just asking yourself, how did I get here? And honestly, the Magician is here to say, how do you get out? It's your choice. It's your choice on how to get out, right? You got yourself in this situation, but you can certainly get yourself out, if that makes sense. At the root of your situation is the Five of Swords. So it looks like there might have been some sort of conflict or something that's going on, that you do feel kind of stuck in a situation, but you have all the power to get yourself out. This is not, we're never really as stuck as we think we are. Sometimes it just feels like that. You get a little bogged down in that feeling of feeling like you're stuck, but you have the power to get yourself out. What is it that Glenda says to Dorothy at the end of The Wizard of Oz? Is you had that power all along. You didn't know it, but you had it right in your feet. You could click your heels and be back home. What is just behind you in your recent past? Of course, it's the Emperor, because the Emperor was all over everyone's readings last week. He ended up being my star of the week last week because this card came out in almost every reading. So behind you and in your past is you really being a leader and being clear about your vision and being able to get things done, being the authority on something. So you're coming into the situation in an area of strength and control, of feeling like you have control over it. And all of a sudden you're feeling like you don't have control, right? So something has happened here. Again, maybe it's this conflict, some sort of conflict that goes on, and you just feel like, oh, I'm so stuck. There's no way I'm going to get out of this, but you can totally get out of this. I want you to look at the this isn't chains that she's being bound with. This is almost like gauze. She could probably just bust right out of there once she makes a decision to do that and rip that blindfold off. Get through this and you're going to be just fine. What is on your mind this week is the Ace of Pentacles. So, when the magician is asking you, how do you want to deal with this? It may be material. It may be something that you just have to throw money at. And I think about this with, one of my sons right now is dealing with some car trouble. And I told him, like, you're going to find the older a car gets, you're going to have to throw money at it. And if you do, you have to kind of get to a point where you make a decision. Are you going to continue to throw money at an older car, or are you just going to let it go and just put the money into something newer, right? So that's a situation I'm watching right now, and that's just kind of a metaphorical. I'm not saying that you're having car trouble. Whatever trouble you're having, sometimes you can throw money at it and fix it. So is that your case here? Maybe it's on your mind. It's on your mind maybe as an option, and maybe is something that is the only option for you, really. You're thinking, I have to throw money at this, and maybe now it's like, well, I've got to scrape that together and rob Peter to pay Paul. I mean, we've all been there, but listen, you can get out of this. Whatever this conflict is, you definitely have the skill set. If it's not money, maybe it's another solution that you come up with. What is just ahead of you is the Three of Wands. So this is a new venture. This is something that's just ahead of you. And this may lead to, sometimes when we feel stuck and feel like we have to, do something very creative to overcome a situation, it does kind of lead you on a new venture, and certainly a new venture in your mind, because you're thinking, wow, I can't believe I got through that, you know. But we always get through everything, don't we? Nothing is so insurmountable. The universe never gives you more than you can handle, and that's an axiom for a reason. So in your advice position here is the Six of Swords. So instead of conflict and instead of feeling stuck, now these swords have us moving towards the future. Look how on this side of your reading, this we're looking at the back, like the back of two of these people, because you're moving towards the future. You're moving away from this conflict, where everyone here is, look at everybody here on this side is either facing or starting to face away, but this is moving towards the future, and it's moving toward the future with new thoughts, new ideas, new ways of doing things. And look how calm the water is here. You're going to move through calm waters. And so, the advice here is just to remain calm. This too shall pass. What is beyond your control this week is some judgment. And I have seen this card quite a bit this week. It's beyond your control. You're either going to be judging something, which could just be yourself, or you're going to feel judged by others, or you are going to judge others. It's just beyond your control that there's some judgment that will happen in this situation. Maybe judgment, blame, that sort of thing. Maybe it's your own fault, and maybe you will, judge yourself and say, well, I got myself here. And that's a learning situation. Anytime we get ourselves wrapped up in a situation, it's just to learn how to not do it next time. So if you're learning now, if it's repeating and you see that it's happening over and over, and that's when you really need to, it's never going to end until you learn the lesson. So take the time to really learn the lesson so that you don't get caught up in that pattern of just being presented over and over and again with the same situation, because that's kind of the way life works. Until you learn it, it just keeps getting presented to you over and over again and again. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid here is the Moon card, which is about, this is a card of mystery and a card of, the mysterious path. And this is about using your intuition. Are you trying to avoid using your intuition, or is it your secret desire? Do you feel like you already know the answer? And for some reason, this could be maybe the universe has been offering you these signs and you've just kind of been ignoring it. But and that's where I would say that's what you're trying to avoid, is if you're ignoring all the signs and all the things, and then this thing is still presented to you, that's kind of on you. You do have to watch those things and make sure that you're making decisions for a really good reason, right? Or is it your secret desire that, I'm going to go within? Like I said, if you need to get in nature, which you might need a break this week, just go take a walk, get somewhere calm. And, all of those answers are inside of you. Like I said, just like the Wizard of Oz, it's all inside of you. But you do sometimes have to get to a place where you can be calm enough to listen to that inner voice and really decide what it is that you want, what it is that you need, and what your next step is in moving forward. In your outcome position is the Lover's card. So I feel like, this is duality. This is, coming together. It sometimes with a partner, of course, because it's a Lover's card, but sometimes it's just even with yourself. I see a lot of other people that are involved in this situation, because when I look at the cards, I just see, we've got a group of people here, a group here, a group here. There's other people kind of involved, and this is the harmony of coming together in partnership and being able to come to some sort of solution, which is really what I feel does happen here. So how did you get here? You got yourself there, and pay attention to your intuition. Get somewhere quiet so that you can find a solution to this, and I feel like at the end everybody's happy and harmonious about the solution. All right, what is hidden from you this week is Temperance. Interesting. So, hidden from you is just the ability, like I said, if you need to get quiet, get inside your mind, that's hidden from you this week, and it's something that you really do need to find, because this will be something that inspires you. If you can get somewhere where you're just emotionally balanced and centered, get yourself centered and the solution will come out. I really feel that that's going to be your best advice for the week, Taurus. Again, and confidence. Be confident that you can get through this. You can do anything. The answers are already there for you. You just need to get quiet enough to find them. All right, Taurus, let's get a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message here for Taurus. Wake up call. Okay. That's what this could be, is some sort of wake up call, something that it's certainly conflict and it certainly needs a resolution. And is it some wake up call? Like I said, is it something that you're being presented with over and over and over and over again? But here's the Magician. How do you want to solve this? You can do it. Go find your inner voice inside in this calmness somewhere, and know that those answers are inside of you. Let's see what Taurus needs to do as far as self-care. Taurus and self-care this week. What do they need to do to get through this little bit of conflict here? I see it resolving, but it's a conflict. It's not comfortable. All right. The card that comes out here is Body. Your body deserves your love. All right. So take care of your body this week. Take care of your mind also. Like I said, you have the answers inside. You have the answers inside intuitively to come to some sort of harmonious place here where again everybody comes together. We're not having this conflict. And you can find a peaceful resolution to this for whatever it might be. This could be, I always say tarot is a template. I'm not even seeing one area of life that this is affecting, but this situation, this conflict that comes up where you feel like you're stuck, could be a situation at work. It could be a situation in a relationship. It could be a situation in a family situation. There's just, it's a template that's going to template over so many different things. But I do feel like if you go within, you have the answers and you can come to that conclusion. So Taurus, thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate your time with me today. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in a productive way in your own life. And if you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a message down below in the comments and let me know, what is it that you were going through this week that was a conflict that came to a resolution? Did you have some sort of wake up call? And did you already know the answers? Is it something that you've been presented with over and over again? So I do post readings every week. So come back next week. We'll see if this energy remains the same or if there's something completely different here for you. Also, if you like my reading style, please click like and subscribe. It really helps my channel, but most importantly, it'll help you find me next week. So thanks so much, Taurus. Good luck with all of this, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.